This is Peak Earth. I'm Case Bradford. Thank you for tuning in to this episode with Vance Elrod. Vance is a professional martial artist and the founder of Meraki Medicinals. Grateful I had the opportunity to connect with Vance and co-create this episode. It was awesome. Most fun podcast episode I've made. It was in front of a live audience. I think there were 6 people there. And thank you to Caleb of I Like It Rod Dairy for hosting us. We were able to hit the sauna and then record this conversation after training and sparring at Muscle Beach. Vance is an awesome guy. He has a deep wisdom to share and a powerful energy. Really enjoyed hearing about his street fighting and professional fighting mindset and much more. If you are new, thanks for tuning in. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. If you'd like to contribute to Peak Earth, came up with a few ways. One is to leave a 5-star review on the Apple app or the Spotify app. That always helps Peak Earth grow a little bit. Another is to share an episode across social media, whatever platform you like. Third is to create an event. You could call it the Peak Earth Cheese Chase. What you'll want to do is acquire a block of cheese. Probably costs about $1,000, but it will be well worth it. And gather as many friends as you can, at least 3. Go to the top of a hill, and then you roll the cheese down the hill, and whoever gets the cheese first is the winner. I've seen this on the internet. I think they do it in England. You should do it in your area. I think it'd be really great. Call it the Peak Earth Cheese Chase, and then people say, what's up with this? What is this all about? And you can say, I heard about it on this podcast called Peak Earth, and then they might end up listening to a few episodes. That would be pretty cool. You don't have to do any of that though. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. Down below there's a link to check out Meraki Medicinals if you'd like. It's Vance's company. There's a link and a code to save a little cash on the great elixirs and remedies that they offer. Powerful things. Check it out. And with no more rambling from me, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this episode with Vance Elrod. There are definitely some psychoactive compounds in cacao, nothing
Crazy.
Psychedelic.
Yeah.
It's a little something.
Is it theobromine?
Yeah.
Feels good.
You know your pharmacokinetics.
My man, I speak the language. I dabble.
I Like It Rod Dairy.
I'll just start off by saying every single Twitter person I've ever grappled gives me fucking problems, and you're no different, dude. Everyone's strong, they're athletic, they're durable, they're in shape. You, Noah, Eric, it's like, I'm over it, dude. Like, they're just fucking, everyone's a Chad on Twitter so far. I think it's gonna be a walk in the park. I'm getting stiff-armed off you, like, real quick.
Eric's a beast.
Eric's a freaking nature, dude.
Yeah, he dominated me three times in a row.
Yeah, how many years did you wrestle? 4 years. Wrestled 4 years, yeah. He's not gonna lose that overnight, so.
Yeah. When did you start training martial arts?
When did I?
Yeah.
So I did Taekwondo for a year as a kid when I was about 5, I want to say. And then my neighbor did Japanese jiu-jitsu, which was like striking. So we went there, it was like actual sparring. Did that like 3 times and I didn't want to get hit. So I was like, told my dad I'm not going over there anymore. And then at 16 or 15, I started playing with jiu-jitsu on and off. But I was doing wrestling in high school, which didn't work out. I got injured, couldn't wrestle. Did track, tried playing football. So I went back to grappling like 17, like heavy, where I started taking it serious. So from 17 to 19, I trained and competed. 19 had my first MMA fight and like haven't stopped since. So
at what point did you train striking?
Like a month before my first fight. I was getting in like street scuffles and I love fighting. So I was like, oh, I'll be good. Like I hang out Hawaiians, we get in street fights, but I've never actually like trained striking. But I was like, oh, I'll be good enough. And then I went and trained striking. I was like, oh, I'm getting pieced up. It was actually demoralizing before like my first fight. So I just told myself, like, I'm going to make it a street fight when we go fight. So I, like, ran out, check hook him right in the beginning of the fight, and then thought I could choke him out, and I couldn't choke him. He was 32. I was 19. Damn. Grown man. He was throwing me around, muscling out of my submissions. And, like, I was better on the ground technically, but it was a boy versus a man. So it was crazy.
What's the difference between a boy and a man in that scenario?
In that scenario, just strength, grit, durability. Like, you get that man strength. Like, that young boy we were training with today, like, you know, he's athletic, but, like, he doesn't have that second, third gear conditioning yet. You know, he's, like, not as strong, so he's just a boy, you know? I'm not even 32 yet. And I was like, man, I fought someone that, like, to fight someone that age, like, what the hell? That guy fought the shit out of me, but closed his eye and I almost submitted him, like, 5 times, but, yeah.
It surprises me you didn't train striking at a young age because now you're masterful at it. Watching you shadow box is like watching Jimi Hendrix play the guitar. Not I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I'm saying. It's at a much higher level than your average person.
First off, thank you. Dude, thank you. But no, it's like My great-grandfather was the featherweight boxing champ of the world at one time. So he boxed a guy named Eddie Murphy. And then when I was training jiu-jitsu, I felt like it was always hard. But I was never athletic as a kid. I was always a runt. And I always just told myself, like, well, you're just not athletic. Like, you suck at it. But when I learned striking, like, it came so quick. So I did years of grappling before I did any striking. And then immediately I was like, I think I'm a striker. And, like, it just, I don't understand it. Like, I can watch striking, being like intrigued by it, learn just from like mere neurons and me watching, seeing someone do something, I could go land it perfectly after. But I can't do that with jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu, I have to like grind it. I could watch, I can study, do whatever, but it doesn't work. I have to do it and learn the hard way, and it's just like, it's a different craft for me. So yeah, I love striking, like fell in love with it. So on top of that, we went through a period of like gym transfers where I lost a lot of teammates, and there were like nights where I had fights coming up in 4 weeks, like crunch time, and we had nobody show up to the gym. So I would just train alone. I'd hit the bag. I'd perfect a spinning back kick, perfect like around the time Connor knocked out Jose Aldo with a left hook, and I would like throw like 100 left hooks exactly the same, like watch it in slow motion, and then I would step back, throw the left, like film it, see if it looked good. So I just put like the work into the craft.
Spinning back kick is a difficult movement to master.
100%. And everyone throws it wrong. Most people throw it wrong in the UFC. So I actually got blessed. I met a Taekwondo coach, and he showed me the drill. He just had to show me the drill, and I drilled it like 10,000 times immediately. But he was telling me, like, this is what I was talking to you guys about point style striking. So you get guys who want to go into MMA and they want like to train boxing, but they like put 16-ounce gloves on, they high guard, sit in the pocket and box Mexican style. Like, you can't do that with a 4-ounce glove. But amateur boxing's point style, meaning I touch you more than you touch me. It doesn't matter if your defense is better or anything else. Not judging it like pro boxing. They're just going off like almost like punch count. Yeah. Taekwondo is the same way. It's like first strike wins. So the spinning back kick is, not to get on a tangent, but those point style martial arts, best for if you want to learn MMA, because it's hit and don't get hit, which is with a 4-ounce glove. You can't treat hands like bricks. I always tell people, like, treat them like they're tasers. Because I would fight a guy with like brick hands, like, all right, I could be tough and like try to eat it, but if that's a taser, I'm like, don't touch me with it, you know? So you treat it mentally a little bit different. But yeah, I did, he was teaching me basically the spinning back kick's a defensive move. So you see guys like Max Holloway, John Jones, they'll throw it when the guy's backing up, circling out. They throw this big, wide spinning back kick, knee up, heel out, and they reach. And it's not as effective, but you should be able to throw it next to a wall, meaning when I spin, my knee doesn't come out. I'm like in a straight line, and I spear you. So I essentially turn 180, and I throw a donkey kick all in one motion, though. And so the goal was, if somebody reached to strike you in Taekwondo, you move your head out of the way, spin, touch them with your heel, you win. So it's a powerful defensive strike, not even an offensive strike. It's meant to be an intercept. As they go to come in, you throw it. So they could be kicking, they could be punching. You spin in one area, and you stop their charge from coming in. Wow. And that's like the way you're supposed to throw it. So I'll show you the drills after, but I love it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I remember it was 2010, I think, watching Edson Barboza throw it. I would watch it again and again in slow motion and practice it in this little dojo we had in our college campus just to try and learn how to do it. It took me years to like finally feel like I could kind of do it.
Yeah, I got to the point where I was doing it so much drilling, I'd throw lemons up in my kitchen when they go bad, and I get spinning back kick it perfectly and almost get it to aim. Like I could aim and hit something. So yeah, hours of spinning back kicks.
I gotta see that. We gotta get a lemon after this and put it up in the air.
Dude, Ridiculousness. I posted a video of me doing it on TikTok, and Ridiculousness wanted to throw it on their show. They paid me money to own the clip, so I sold them the clip, and then they never put it on the show. But yeah.
Damn. All right. Someone remind us if we forget to throw a lemon up. He's gonna back.
I'll spin back kick it. Yeah, we'll send it.
All right. So at what point did you begin really training, sparring, and striking to get good at that art form?
Yeah. So when I first started, we had a Muay Thai instructor named Jason Andrada in Vegas, and I would just go kind of spar there a little bit, and then I had my first fight, and like I wanted to learn striking. I was like, okay, I need to like do MMA and take it serious. So I started training with him more, and I got a little bit better at striking. And then my coach left that gym and went to start pursuing business. So I decided to move to another gym, which was an MMA gym. So the gym I was at was Fight Capital in Las Vegas, and it was the old JSEC. So John Lewis opened it, first MMA gym in Vegas. BJ Penn trained there, Randy Couture trained there, a bunch of big names trained there. And then it kind of just turned into like a skills training gym. So they had a jiu-jitsu team, they had a boxing team, but there was no real MMA structure. So at the time, my buddy Shai Lindsay was training at an MMA gym. It was the old tap-out gym in Vegas that got downsized because I think they ran out of money. And they called it Hybrid Performance or Meta XP, something like that. And so I went over there and started training with them. And that's when I really fell in love with striking. At the time, Connor was coming up, and he was another southpaw. So I could watch Connor and emulate all of his movements. Like, it was crazy. So I started watching southpaws, like Willie Pep, started watching him. Any southpaw I can get my hands on, or I'd watch Floyd Mayweather, and then I'd put the video in mirror mode so I could see him as a southpaw, and then I would just emulate and fall in love with it. And like, I was kind of getting burnt out of years of jiu-jitsu, and I was like, man, this is so different. I love it. So I just really fell in love with striking, started taking it serious, pursuing, like, I knew that just like jiu-jitsu, I got so good at it because I didn't learn jiu-jitsu from an MMA perspective. I learned it as pure sport. So I knew how to do the same thing with these arts. So I went and got a Taekwondo instructor and like worked with him. I got a boxing coach. And still to this day, like, I work with like the pure arts. So I'll go to the boxing gym, a pure boxing gym, and I'll hang with the boxers, like pro boxers or AMI boxers, and we'll go spar. Because you learn these intricacies that you will not learn if you don't deep dive the craft like that. Because they learn, like, that's all they do. In boxing, 6 punches. 6 punches, head movements. So they learn little tricks, little timing, little intricacies. So if you can map and mirror what they're doing, you're going to bring it to MMA. Like, it's not the same. Now, there's some things that aren't applicable, but like deep diving it and learning more, then you Bruce Lee it. You take what's useful, discard what's not. And that's a better way to learn, in my opinion.
Beautiful. How did training martial arts change your life?
Every way, shape or form, dude. Every way. It's the best vehicle for personal growth you can get into, 100%. From like going into fights and like the second you have a fight and you like, holy shit, the adrenaline hits you and you're like, yep, I accept. And then all you're thinking about for the next 8 weeks or whatever time is, like, last thing you think about before bed is you're fighting that guy first thing in the morning, you have a fight. And you're getting used to those nerves of like someone who signed up to like take your consciousness in front of your family if you fuck up. And like, there's nothing else that will like get you so brutally honest with yourself in there, you know, if you really care about it. Because if you want to win, you have to be honest. You have to say, fuck, I suck at wrestling. This guy's good at wrestling, you know, or I suck at this, or I'm not in shape. I'm not diving in. So like, that's where the fear of the fight will outweigh anything. And you get forced in this bubble of you have to train so you don't get embarrassed. It's so insane. So it's just the easiest personal growth vehicle you could do. And like, if anyone wanted to like get out of a slump or anything like that, and they were like serious and they had tried everything, whatever, I'd be like, go sign up for a fight. Because I promise you, like, you don't think you can lose weight. Like, it's hard for me to diet when I don't have a fight. Second I have a fight, you better believe I'm eating everything perfect, because I'm also embarrassed. I don't want to step on a scale, miss weight. I don't want to show up, not perform in front of my family, my friends, you know, like, girlfriend's been in a fight. Like, you want to fight in front of people that you love, and then you fall in front of them, like, or look like shit. Like, that's embarrassing, you know? And so just learning how to deal with all that, and then just the try, like, men need suffering, men need pain. You're not going to get any more suffering and pain than starving yourself, going to a gym with sweaty guys who are all trained athletes who are trying to take your head off day in, day out. You know what I mean? I was doing this at 18, 17, 19 with guys who are 30 years old, professional athletes, trying to take my head off. And I'm paying money to fucking be there on top of that. You know what I mean? So it's like, you kind of come up in this crucible. So when I like went into business and like got success real quick, like, ask Eric and the boys, when I sit with them, these guys are masters at business. Like, you talk to them and you feel stupid. I feel so out of my league. But it's because, like, the hard work it takes, and that's what most of the beginning of business is, just fucking hard work. It's like, I can do all that because I've done harder shit. So now it's like, that's how business was so easy. I was like, oh my God, I'm not complaining that I had like a hard day in the office, because fucking I've got my face, you know, my shit shoved in for like my nose flattened for over 10 years now. Like, that shit's easy. So it just makes suffering easier.
Training martial arts really helped me develop discipline and confidence. Like, nothing else really gave me those character traits or qualities.
Yeah, the discipline, and then like you said, the confidence too. Life like gets weird when I'm injured or if I'm sick or something and I'm walking down the street and I'm like, I can't defend myself. And I like, it's because people don't live in that world. But when I go out and like I get a drink in me, I go like full Hawkeye. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck could happen, right? Like, we're in a room full of people. I don't know if he trains, like I don't know if they train, but I'm doing combat every day, so it's on my mind. And I just see people like go through life like weak and not able to defend themselves. I'm like, how the fuck do you leave your house? I'm so insecure when it comes to that. Like, I don't feel safe. I'm around Muscle Beach, I'm looking around, I'm eyeballing everyone, you know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck happened? So the confidence you get knowing you can defend yourself. And it's not like, oh, I could beat everyone's ass, but it's also learning like you're not made of glass. Like, you go in there and you get clocked your first time in sparring, you're like, oh shit, I got hit and I didn't fall and I didn't cry. And like, it's like this weird fear you have of getting hit in the face from a kid. Then you get hit in the face and you're like, getting hit in the body where it hurts worse than hit in the face. And then you get in some deep rounds. You're like 15 minutes in, VO2 max is like through the roof, and you're sparring someone, and like you guys are both trying to win. And you walk away from that, and some guy's cutting you off in traffic, and you're like, but like, I just climbed out of the gutter. I will gladly go back in. Water's warm. Like, let's fucking do it, you know? So that confidence you get is great. But like you said too, the discipline, and man, it makes everything else in life easier. If you can get good at suffering, what else is going to be hard?
It's true. There's another aspect that I really appreciate was learning this ability to drop into a flow state. The Japanese call it mushin, which is the mind of no mind, and you're acting and reacting without really thinking through anything. And I think a lot of people start martial arts and they just overthink it. Like, what am I supposed to do with my hands? Like, how am I supposed to be wrestling? But then at some point you get comfortable, you can just kind of drop into it, and it's happening of itself. You're not even really doing anything.
Yeah, and it's like, you're not thinking about that girl. You're not thinking about bills. You're not thinking about what the fuck's going on with work. Is the FDA coming from Meraki? You know, you're not thinking about any of that. You're just like, literally in that moment, you're like, this guy's trying to rip my arm off. I need to keep my elbow in. I need to pass his hips. You know, I need to create a frame. Like, you're not thinking about anything else, and you get done, and it's like every other worry just melted away, and all you're doing is training. And it's just beautiful, beautiful for the mind.
Was part of the catalyst for you to get into it rooted in fear when you were younger? Were you bullied or picked on or anything like that?
I think I wanted people to like me. I was like really insecure, and so I figured if I could become like one of the best athletes, like I want to be like the football star, and like people would be like, fuck yeah, and admire me. And so fighting was like that for me. But there's also like, I tell people like I wasn't born to fight. Like, I was built to fight. Like, I just wanted so bad to like be appreciated and like known for hard work and winning and an athlete and capable, that I was willing to do whatever it took at first. Then I fell in love with it. But then I see videos of me as a kid, and like, dude, I have a video of me as a boy in a Power Ranger suit throwing fucking spinning back kicks perfectly, spinning back fists, kicking, punching. I was like, all right, I came out of the womb ready to fight, dude. Like, I love fighting. I love combat, everything about it, you know? So I think I was actually maybe born for it, but yeah.
Our culture seems to be somewhat hesitant to embrace it, at least in the West. Like, it's embraced much more in the East, it seems like. Mm-hmm. But in the West, it's like seen as sort of violent. Like, remember when the UFC first started, they call it human cockfighting, but there's definitely an aspect of play to it, a primal aspect of play where, like, oh, this is actually really fun.
I told you guys, because I forget, we were talking about off-season training, what's that like? And I'm like, it's like this. Like, I could show up to Muscle Beach and play, but I learned so much more when you're playing. Look at a lion going to hunt. Like, lions don't get to simulate hunting. They don't go out with their parents and try to hunt, like, get scolded and, like, do anything. They play from the time they're a kid. Play. Boom, then they go hunt and they know what to do. You have to play as humans. Like, humans have the mirror neurons I was talking about. It's few animals that have it. I think monkeys have it too, where I can see you do something and the same neurons will fire in my brain that are firing in your brain of you doing it just from me watching. So that's why visualization is so important. That's why me watching, like being a visual learner is so important, because I can literally wrap myelin sheath around those neurons from not even doing the task just by watching people do it. So that's what's crazy too.
That's why I wanted to show the swinging on those giant monkey bar sticks. I was like, if I show you this, you'll be able to do it.
You said that word for word. If you watch me do this, you'll see it. And I'll watch you do it. Like, oh, I see what you're doing there. And then we can do that, which is crazy, dude. Humans are crazy creatures for that.
Yeah. We're all tapped into that animal realm, too, where play, like you're mentioning, always rooted in hunting or fighting.
Yeah.
They don't really use balls. Yeah. Other animals, not much. I mean, dogs do a little bit, but it's always sort of like fake fighting.
Yeah,
is like the primal play.
Exactly, and like that's what like we're all born to do too. I think like it's just in our DNA. So you can't call it human cockfighting, and the violence aspect of it. You know, it's like I get it, but I was just telling you guys too. I fight, and I'm literally am friends with every single person I've ever fought. I still follow like half the guys from my amateur career on Instagram. Like, we keep in contact, and like I'm rooting for them too, you know what I mean? Like, you get that camaraderie. Like, we got it all out. We're boys now. Like, yeah, we signed a contract, but also like we're both just chasing dreams. How can I hate you for it? The only guy that is not is my pro debut, because he popped for fucking roids after he shot in my face. So I was kind of like, all right, you little dirty ass. But even then, like, man, I still am empathetic about it, because I'm like, he's chasing his dream, and he just was willing to go a little bit farther than me. And I know there's rules, but like fighting, 80% of guys are on roids. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. And it's like, I understand it, I know why, and like they're chasing dreams, so I can't get too mad, but it's definitely like natural. Like, you shot in my face in front of my family, and you're on roids, I wasn't, so fuck you, but I get it, like, you know what I mean? So there is that aspect to it though, where it's like, it is violent, but violence is not like, how many years ago did we just have a world war? You know, it's like, how many years ago did we have a war in Iraq? Like, we're always constantly battling, there's war all over. Violence is natural, and like, yeah, you could try to be above it, or you can find different outlets to do it. You know, I'm not justifying it, but I'm saying, like, if you ever want something like that's natural to the human body, that's personal growth, development, and like gonna show you crazy shit about yourself, that's like borderline psychedelic, the same as you going doing mushrooms or a fucking ayahuasca ceremony in the jungle, go train for 3 years. You'll learn more about yourself, I promise, than you taking a fucking mushroom. Promise you that. Promise you.
Most men have this violence within them. If they don't express it, ends up becoming self-destructive.
Mm-hmm. I believe 100%. Dude, I'm the same way. Like, if I can't get it out some way, like, I'll be honking in traffic. Like, I promise you. So,
And that, I was thinking the other day how that violence is an element of risk, which drops you into a flow state.
yes. You need, I mean, me personally too, I can't have a safety net. I need that risk, you know what I mean? So it's something about, I mean, what else is there? It's high-speed problem solving with dire physical consequences. What other sport do you train for 4 months for one fight, 15 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, where everything's on the line, half of your purse, so you're talking 6 figures for a championship fight, legacy, crowd is going to go nuts if you win, crowd's going to make fun of you forever, and you're going to be a loser if you lose one fight, you know? It's like all for that. Like, what else is there to have that kind of pressure, you know? It's insane, dude. It doesn't make sense. And, like, honestly, fighting, like, the culture behind it is pretty dumb. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible for the brain. It's terrible you don't get paid. The glory, there's no glory in it. No one really cares. Like, no household names naming fighters, but they might be able to name, like, an offensive lineman on the New England Patriots that's, like, just, like, barely doing his shit, you know what I mean? So it's just the culture behind it's what kind of ruins it. So fighting, if it was done differently, could be the most beautiful, best sport in the world, and unfortunately it's not. And unfortunately it derails people's dreams like me, where I'm like, I don't know if I see the point in it anymore. I do it for fun because I love it, but like as making a career and a passion, just you're not dumb to follow it, but like the glory is in it, but it's not paid for. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're gonna give up a lot of beautiful moments in your life and like not be able to support your family because you're chasing a dream where everyone else is getting rich but you. It's terrible.
If you were to reimagine it, create a fight league, for example, how would you structure it so that it made more sense and it was more beautiful?
Try to get the funding and pay them more, you know? It's just also, it's like, I can't sit there and be mad at the game. Like, that's one thing I've always, like, I realized a few years back before I even started business, like, I sit on the sideline and hate, but, like, you know the people that go for the low-hanging fruit. Like, you talk like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, like, they just go for low-hanging fruit, whatever trends in they're doing. But it's so smart. And, like, if the trend isn't fighting and people don't want to get behind the UFC and, like, they don't like it and they prefer NFL more, I can't sit there and be mad at the game. I could try to change it, try to get more promotion and bring it more mainstream, which we have tried, but, like, it just doesn't work, you know? It's, like, almost this taboo. So, like, I would just honestly start a Japanese fight league because you get treated like a celebrity out there. They pay you better. They treat you better. Like, you go out there and you're treated like an actual star, where, like, we went to the Wynn nightclub after Volkanovski fought, and it was the NBA Summer League was in or something, and we're behind the DJ at XS, and, like, the fighters are there, but, like, these NBA guys are there, and I don't know any of their names. They're, like, second string on Detroit, whatever, and they're getting, like, people recognize them and, like who and hawing, and now I'm with Volkanovski, like, who was number one pound for pound basically at that time. He just beat Yair Rodriguez, and it seems like he's got fame, but, like, everyone else at the table is professional fighters. Leon Edwards, I mean, Adesanya was there, but there's, like, Dan Hooker, Kaikar France, all these guys are there, and they're, like, barely even noticed compared to, like, a second string NBA star. So it just is what it is, you know, and it's, like, unfortunate. So you just gotta do it if you love it. But I've just seen so many people give up their dreams. I mean, like, chase their dreams, but sacrifice, like, brain health, body health, financial health, family health to go chase this dream, where literally the money is also there too. And that's just, if there was any change I could do, is, like, take the money out of the promoters and pay the fighters more. Stop building a $2 billion facility in Vegas so fighters can train there. The UFC PI, pay your fighters more. Starting pay for a fighter is like 15 and 15. So if you lose your UFC debut, you got 15 grand in your pocket. You made it to the UFC, so you're the top 1% of 1% of fighters. You're in the UFC and you're getting paid less than, like, a McDonald's worker. Make it make sense to me. It doesn't. That's why I started a business, but, like, it's terrible.
Take me back to that fight you mentioned before where the guy got popped for steroids. What was that story?
So, get my labrum torn. I mean, first off here, we'll backtrack even more. I came off 2 title fight wins. One's a official world title for Tough Enough. The other one was Fierce Fighting Championship. So they're a Utah organization. I think they fight in Montana, Idaho, Utah. But I went up 2 weight classes, fought their champion at 155, and won that belt as well. So I had some hype going pro, like, okay, stage is set. And then my other 2 teammates were world champions as well. COVID hits, fights get canceled. I'm training for fights, supposed fights I thought I had. Getting into pros without a manager was pretty dirty. And then not with the right management was pretty dirty, because you're not getting fights at all. You're, like, almost being used as a pawn. It was just terrible. And it's so business orientated. And I eventually tore my LCL, snapped it in half. So I had to heal that. I was trying to, at the end of healing it, getting ready for a fight that I didn't have, some promoter said I had, which was terrible. Got a massive concussion, had to wait like 6 months before I could fight again. Then I tore my labrum, and now we're 2 years out, and I'm like itching to fight. So I literally heal very fast with the labrum. And we were supposed to wait 6 months before we could start training. My fight was like 5 months after I tore my labrum, or like got my labrum surgery. So we were training like 3 months there, like post labrum surgery. And I was just doing everything so perfect. Diet was perfect. Sauna was perfect. Ice bathing nonstop. And I was just doing anything I could besides like shoving a needle in my ass to heal. And so I healed quick, but like I had all these lingering problems, and my weight was low because I couldn't lift. My strength was low. Just a bunch of shit went wrong. And like it doesn't even matter because like I didn't lose because of that. I lost because of a tactical mistake. So I'm not building excuses, but I rushed into a fight against another tough enough champion because we couldn't get anyone else to fight me. So my first pro debut was a main event in Montana against the Montana hometown boy. He's ex-tough enough champ. He came off a 7-second win in bare knuckle. He got knocked out in like 7 seconds. He was on like I think a 4 or 5 like striking fight win streak. And so we take the fight, we jump in, and easiest fight of my life. So I open up, I like literally just wanted to show him speed off the back. He kind of throws a lazy leg kick, check hook, and boom, right through the chin. I'm looking at him, I'm like, okay, and like we all warmed up in the back talking game plan, set up the high kick. And I just looked at him, I was like, I'm gonna fucking kick him in the face. Boom, send a high kick, set him on his ass. I'm like, oh, I try to rush the finish. He gets a takedown on him, good. We get back up, and I'm just like, and now I'm immediately in this mode of like, I'm playing with food now. Like exactly what I visualized, exactly what's happened every single fight before. I know this feeling, I'm gonna fucking smoke him. So he's like trying to be strong on the cage. I'm lighting him up, kick him one time in the body, huge bruise he had, like crazy, like bust the skin everywhere. And I was just like hurting this kid, buckle him again. And then we're on the cage and he elbowed the shit out of me good on him. And so like elbowed me hella hard. I remember I got mad. So I shove him off, left hook him, and I set him down. And I dislocate my thumb in the process. And he's on all fours. I went to go kick him in the face, and I pull at the last second because it would have been me kicking a down opponent. I'm telling you, if I would have kicked him, I would have been on ESPN for the wrong reasons, but I was going to fucking kick his head like over the stadium wall like crazy. And I went to go punt him, pull it at the last second, and I just remember like the thought in my head was like, all right, I'm done fucking around now. You're getting killed. Like I'm gonna not kill. You're getting finished. Okay. I wasn't like that deep, but and so I was like, I'm gonna check hook him real quick and just set him home. So I go to throw the check hook. Like we talked about in the sauna, when you're trying to get out of the sauna, you make it harder. Like we threw water on the rocks trying to force someone out of the sauna first because no one wanted to get out first. But like when you get your back against the wall, sometimes you throw bigger. And so I know this when I'm fighting people. And so my back was against the wall, but I was rushing the finish. So I threw a big loopy hook, and he rolled it, planting me around the orbital. And I don't remember falling, but I remember like throwing the hook, and then next thing I know, I'm on a knee against the cage, curled, and I'm like, holy shit, what happened? And I'm like, oh, I must have got clocked. Like, oh shit, like skipped a frame. And he's on me landing, and I'm like, I think my face is different. Like my face shifted. And just like when I hit him with the left hook, I was like, oh, my hand broke. That's what I thought in my head, because my hand feels different. But you don't feel the pain in there. So he got on me, like heavy hips, and he's beating the shit out of me. I'm discombobulated, I'm trying to get up. And so he ended up railing off like 30 strikes on me. And before the fight, they told me, they go, hey, when you drop him, don't try to finish him too fast. You'll get tired, because the refs are literally not pulling fights. Like, they'll let him go. And we were watching guys, like, before I was fighting, I was watching the TV, guys getting fucking 30 shots landed on them. And so I'm on the other end of it now. So he lands like 30 strikes on me. Well, my face is shattered, my thumb's fucked up, and I couldn't get up. And like I remember just like being like, okay, I'm done. I had a curl. It was, I still like kind of get pissed when I say it out loud, but I had a curl. And then, yeah, I got the absolute worst concussion of my life. Not from the one big shot, from the 30 other shots that were raining down on me while I was just in a ball. I was just seeing white flash, white flash, white flash. So I just sat on my back, looked up, and like this cage was doing like a spin. Like it would spin like this and come back. Spin like this, come back. And I was just like, fuck. But I got my whole family there. My little sister's there. My girlfriend's there. My mom's there. Like, can't let them fucking see me down. So I got up real quick and like kind of showed them like, hey, I'm okay. Like went and talked with him. We were laughing it out, you know, and like having fun. And like we chatted after a little bit and then went over to the ER and shattered orbital. Fat from my eye fell. So I might have to get surgery later on in life with that. Thumb dislocated. Kept dislocating in the cast. That sucked for a while. I would have to reset my thumb in the cast. And yeah, it was best thing that ever happened to me. which is crazy, but yeah, it truly was.
That's the brutal part of the MMA competitions. Cage fighting is that ground and pound part where like that first punch probably knocked you out, and then another 29 of them.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a little bit brutal.
That was brutal. So normally it's not like that. Like, refs are good, but Montana refs don't give a shit. Like, I'm pretty sure the dude didn't have all his teeth, so good on him. But I literally think boxers have it worse because the 10-second break and then you standing back up and like no ability to shoot, nothing, you just gotta sit there, is like you're gonna get another concussive impact, a big one, another one. And it's like concussions aren't bad one-off. You hit your head, you're gonna be fine. Your brain's plastic, it heals, like it can grow. You get new neurons every day. But bruising a bruise is a whole different ball game. And that's what you need to understand, is the brain's floating in the skull. And you tip the chin this way. It's not like, what's really happening is you're not hitting the brain. You're smashing your skull into the brain because it's just floating. So here's your brain, here's your skull. I hit your chin. Your skull smacks into your brain, and then your brain bounces around your skull. And that's what causes the damage. And some people have more rigid skulls than others. And that's how people die in fighting, because like the brain's getting smashed now against something rigid. They bleed out internally. Wow. And so there's so much to it. But yeah, it's like getting hit like over and over again is what does it. And when you have a culture of boxing as well with like heavy sparring, that's when it gets really bad, because you're going to go in and you're going to take concussive impact every week. I get hit one time and I get a concussion. I'm grappling for 4 months. Fuck you guys. Like, I don't care. I don't need to get hit again. So there's times where I can do that. So it's just the different cultures. But yeah, brutal sport for sure.
And yet that was the best thing that happened to you.
Yeah. That's what, I mean, yeah, dude, it was like the depression after sucked. The brain injury sucked, but it forced me to do like, of course, like with the right mentality, it forced me to level up, because now I have the worst concussion of my life. CT was freaking me out. So it forced me to find methylene blue, forced me to heal my brain, create a whole ebook on concussions, forced me to do hours of research on studying the brain, to dive back in and like chase that, like the feeling of healing. And it's what started my company and what led me to help so many other athletes with concussions and like actually find beautiful things like that. And also like getting over a loss as a pro debut, like having hype behind my name and have to go fight again after taking like an ass whooping like that. Like I remember my last fight I had after that one was the worst I've ever felt. I was in the back room like shaking almost. Like it was like my body remembered what happened last time. Mentally I was like, okay, I'm gonna smoke him, get in the back room, and I'm like, I don't fucking feel good. I don't feel ready. I don't want to do this. I'm scared shitless. Fuck, like I'm almost praying like something bad happens so I don't have to fight. And I'm just like literally like about to fucking cry in the back. I'm so fucking scared. And you gotta fucking walk. And that song comes on, Let Me Clear My Throat comes on. I see my family. I'm like, we're fucking doing this. And we go out and I get in the cage. I'm like, ah. And then my training kicks in and it carries over. And I'm like, oh, I can do this. And I can overcome it. And then I fucking smoke him. And I like jump on the cage, point at my dad. And then you get that like, you get that victory of like, even if I fucking lost, I went and saddled up when I didn't want to. Can you lose in life if every time you're fucking scared that shitless, you're about to cry, you could saddle up and still go out to battle? So, yeah.
What is that about when there's like part of your brain that's like, no, I don't want to do this, but another part is like, yeah, we're doing this. Like, what is that about?
So that's where I have this theory. And so when I was younger, a lot of my friends were out doing like psychedelics, like partying. I was training. But my friends who were doing like mushrooms and shit, we could have these weird, deep conversations I couldn't have with other people. And I boiled it down to like many years later, like I realized like certain things will marry your conscious and your subconscious mind. So right now you're not using your subconscious consciously. It's running everything in the background, but you're consciously making decisions. You're consciously thinking about shit. You're consciously programming your subconscious mind, but it's taking control, but they're not really communicating. And you do some mushrooms, you do a drug or whatever, and like you have these deep thoughts and you're talking straight to your subconscious. And you're like, oh, I act like that because I'm fucking scared. Or I do this because like I'm insecure. I don't feel good enough. And like that makes me mad, and I kind of lash out and argue with this person. Like, I have these talks with my friends who are doing psychedelics, and I realize like fighting is almost psychedelic because it's marrying the conscious and the subconscious. And I learned this early on by watching Muhammad Ali, because I was so scared shitless all the time and my mind worked against me. Anything I did, it thought the worst. This is it. You're going to lose. You lost your whole life. You never were good at sports. That's why you should lose. You're a runt. This guy's supposed to beat you. And I remember being like, fuck that. And I remember Muhammad Ali just saying it's so easy, like affirmations. I told myself I was the greatest before I was. And I just started like every day, I'm the best. I'm too fast. I'm too good. I got this, yada, yada. day in, day out. And it was months of doing this, months of doing it. I didn't even fucking believe it. And I'm looking in the mirror telling myself this shit. And I had this crazy moment. I had a dream. In every dream I've ever had, I'd get in a fight and my hands turn to pillows, or I try to run away and I'm falling and stressed out. I had this dream and I got in a fight in my dream and I beat the shit out of this guy. And it sounds stupid, but like every fight I've ever had in my dream, I'm always losing. And I woke up and like obviously there were small changes in the gym and like confidence and everything, but I realized I was like, damn, like that law of attraction book you were reading, the Muhammad Ali you were listening to, like your subconscious is on track now. And like magic happens. Like literal magic happens when it gets to that. So you have to do the work before the fight to make sure your subconscious is married to your conscious and like they're on the same page. And so many people don't realize how bad their subconscious is, and you'll never know. But I've had fights where I'm in there and like I'm beating the shit out of someone and then they grab my neck and I hear this voice in there and it's like, oh, this is it. And I'm like, where the fuck you come from, you know? And if that voice is not controlled, it will come, it'll be there. And you don't have that thing in check and your subconscious not programmed, that voice gets louder. And one little bad thing goes wrong and you crumble. And so you have to actively combat that voice when you're in there too. It's a nuts scene. So the way I tell people is like, when you're fighting or training or you're in those moments, you're marrying the conscious and the subconscious, like very much so. And it's way easier to reprogram your subconscious doing that. And then that's where it leads you to, you're getting in the fight and like you feel fear, but now it's not a bad feeling. The fear is always there. The anxiety is always there, but you become friends with it. And you know it's the feeling of combat, not of fear. It loses the negative connotation. So those butterflies now, they're not just butterflies in your stomach, they're flying in formation. You're going to use it. So now like what someone who's untrained is like, oh shit, I got to fight this guy. And they get that like their asshole puckers. That's a good feeling to me because I'm like, oh, I know now my body's going to take over. I don't have blood in my stomach. That's why I feel butterflies, because going to my arms, I know I'll perform even though I don't feel like it. And so you learn these little tricks because you never really feel ready in that back room. Like if you do, God bless you. I've had moments like that, but like it's your job to be calm and make the walk and know and trust in faith and believe that you put the training, you're going to win. And like most of the time you're lying to yourself, but like after 4 or 5 fights, I started like actually feeling it. And that's when magic happened. And I was like, I mean, one thing you'll ever see me do in a back room is you'll see me calm as fuck. Calm, ready to go, accepting my walks. I'm not like getting mad, smacking myself. I'm like accepting it. Like, here we go. It's a tactical ass whooping you're about to see right now, you know? And that comes from doing the mental work. And so many fighters I know don't even do the mental work. And even me, it's like making your bed. You get lazy with it because it's like, oh, I programmed it, you're good. And I'll see it come out all the time. That's why competition's so good. That's why doing hard shit's so good, because you get to actively do it. But it is as simple as you looking in the mirror and saying that shit and like literally just telling yourself you're the greatest and visualizing good things better than bad things. You ever see my lemon tweet that I posted?
Tell me about it.
Okay. So this is what also changed my life on it. Listen to this video and this guy's like, all right, picture a fucking lemon. Okay, he didn't say fucking. So I need to stop cussing. I need to communicate better, but picture a lemon. Okay, and everyone can do this. Close your eyes, picture a lemon. Now, picture you just pluck this lemon, and it's so bright yellow, and it's just got dew on it, and it's juicy. Like, it's ready to pop. If you poke that lemon with a needle, that lemon will pop with juice in it, okay? So you're going to cut that lemon into quarters. So you're going to cut it once, cut again. You got this lemon that's literally dripping so much juice now, okay? Mentally put that lemon in your mouth and chew the shit out of it. You're chewing the juice. It hits your teeth. The acid taste is in your mouth. The tongue is burning. You're chewing through the rind, the pulp of it, right? Did your mouth water?
Yeah.
Okay. You just had a full-on bodily reaction where your mouth salivated to digest a sour lemon so it can fuel your body and your body can start the digestion process. But the fucking lemon's not even real. That's how powerful your fucking subconscious is, but also how it doesn't understand what's real or fake. So you consciously visualize the lemon. Your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real or fake. So it got your body ready to digest a fake lemon. That's how powerful it is. What happens when you go through life all day long and you're thinking negative stuff? Your body is constantly feeling like it's about to die. It's constantly stressed, constantly in fight or flight. It's constantly losing. You stick 2 rats in this barrel, 2 rats in this barrel. These rats fight. You take the winner of this barrel out, the winner of this one, swap them. They win again. So winning is contagious. Losing is contagious. You start to learn it subconsciously. Subconsciously, you're playing all these what ifs in your head, and it's so easy because we're wired for survival, not success. So it's so easy to be like, what if that person doesn't call? What if I don't get this job promotion? What if it doesn't work? Because you're trying to survive and your mind's trying to work through it because we're mental creatures. We're cognitive like that. But you have to like dumb down and tell it, shut the fuck up, and it's going to win. Like that irrational optimization or optimistic stuff that Jake preaches. That's so true. You have to think like that. And yeah, it makes a lot more sense for me to go into a fight and think, what if he catches me? What if his wrestling's good? What if he's strong? So I can kind of divert and be tactical. And I can't be too blind, like, nah, he ain't gonna touch me. But like, at the end of the day, the first time I was gonna fight in front of 16,000 people, I was so scared shitless in this hallway. I wasn't ready. He was behind me yelling. I was like, holy shit, about to make the walk. And I remember I just was sitting there. I was like, I'm too fast, I'm too good, I'm too strong, I'm too pretty, I'm too smooth, my reactions are too good, my defense too good, my range is too good, I got this, I'm too fast, I'm too strong, I'm too pretty. Started monologuing. And my teammate from Southside Chicago was right next to me. He was like, ooh, like got all pumped. And I realized like it kicked me in the mode. And I was like, oh shit, I can do this. And like once you get that on track and you can believe that you can do things, like I will say again, magic will happen. And I walked out right after in front of 16,000, looked around, I was like, oh, okay, it's the same feeling I have every fight. Like, and I got in there, did my thing, won a flawless fight, and was just like, wow, subconscious is real. But you'll get lazy with it, and you'll get off your track, and you'll start playing the what ifs, and you'll live in fear. And it just takes you kind of like getting that routine and being cognizant of it. It's like you get in shape running, but you can lose it. It's the same thing with your mind. And we're mental creatures. We're wired for survival, not success. But we don't live in tribes anymore, in the jungle. So you're safe. So how can you be successful now? And those are the real winners. Mm. That was a good monologue.
That was a great riff.
That was deep.
And for an example of this, you mentioned Muhammad Ali. There's videos of him screaming, I am the greatest, I am the greatest. He's yelling it, shouting. Yeah. You can watch that and feel the energy, the vibration. It's like, whoa, that's powerful stuff.
Do you know Muhammad beat Sonny Liston when he was like 23 years old? And Sonny Liston, after Muhammad beat him twice, went on to beat like 9 more former world champions and stay undefeated.
Wow.
Like, people don't understand Muhammad Ali's greatness. Like, everyone's like, oh, Mike Tyson would beat him or this would beat him, blah, blah, blah. But Muhammad Ali fought the biggest, baddest men, George Foreman. Sonny Liston, I mean, you go look at Sonny Liston, like, but beyond what I just told you, like, he literally was a behemoth of a man, a bear that was undefeated, beat everyone, like, with knockouts, and literally learned how to box in prison, like, from the Irish mob, I believe. Like, it's just a crazy story. And, like, this is the guy Muhammad's fighting. Muhammad's a smooth, pretty-faced kid. And he was like, okay, how do I beat Sonny? How do I get in his head? Evoke emotion and act crazy. Because when you're in prison, the baddest dude on the yard is only scared of one person, the crazy one. So he came out wild, loud, got in his head, and like Sonny's little voice in his head, he's never had someone who wasn't scared of him, probably got a little bit louder. And the second that fight didn't go his way, he caved, he quit on the stool, and then he got knocked out. He was mentally beat. Look at Conor do it to Jose Aldo and everyone else too. He gets emotion out of him. You want to piss him off. Because if I can make you angry, I can make you make mistakes. If I keep you calm and we're friends, not that good. Not that good. I need you angry because I need emotion out of you because you will make mistakes out of anger like every man does. So
it's like there's a fight happening in the match, in the cage, but there's also a fight happening within at the same time.
The fight's always within. You learn it so quick. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. Like, because if you're not on your best, you won't be able to beat anyone, Their worst day, their best day, your worst day, like, it never works out. So you're always just constantly battling yourself because it's not really at the high levels, the guy who's doing what's right. You guys are both doing what's right. It's the first one to make a mistake. Because in amateurs, you make a mistake, they're not going to capitalize. Pros, you make a mistake, poof. You let a jiu-jitsu black belt get on your back. So you fucked up how many times? You let him take you down. You let him pass your guard. You turtled, you let him get on your back, you let him get hooks in. So you already messed up enough, you know what I mean? But there's good guys, and it's like you make one single mistake and they get in the right position. Look at Valentina when she threw a spinning back kick and got her back taken, choked out. That's all it takes. So it's who makes the mistake first. So that's a battle from within.
And it's not just in fighting, it's in business too.
Everything, yeah.
Everything.
I fuck up in business all the time though, but you get to correct those mistakes, I'll get your face shattered, So it's like, yeah, I actually like making mistakes. Like, it's good, but when it counts, you can't, 100%.
And the battle within, you think, I always look at somebody like Steve Jobs, for example, or Elon Musk, anyone who does something great, they're having this battle, oh, I'm never going to get this rocket ship launched, I'm never going to create an iPhone, like, and yet they are, there's a ton of self-talk, no, I'm going to do this, this is going to happen, like, this is my vision, this is why I'm on this earth, I'm going to create this thing, and years will go by wallowing in nothingness until they eventually create the thing that they knew they were going to do 10 years ago. But it just took all that self-talk, all that optimism, and all that irrational optimism that to get that fire out to create that thing in the world.
Yeah, and I think you get to a point, too, where if you don't even have it, though, the other part is, and this is why I think it was so good I wasn't an athlete and I was so insecure, because then that's how you get an Elon who sleeps in his factory. Even though he could go home and just like take a day off and cruise, like he sleeps in his factory because he's so insecure on the outcome. And I've been there too, so I'm so insecure on it that I'll train. I'll go home after 4 hours of training, be like, I should do the extra 3 miles. So just so you know that, like, when you get in there, if you do lose or you do fail, you know you gave it your all too. That's the other part of it. Is like that work has to be done. You have to work. You have to put the hours in, and it's so easy. And like I see so many people just like find the hacks or the algorithm or the flow or whatever they want to do, but like. When I was first starting Meraki, I was about to start going to farmers markets. I was like, if I can sell 6 bottles a day, I can convince 6 people to sell me, like, to buy my bottles. I can quit my job. So I just need to sell 6 bottles of this. Like, I'll go to farmers markets and just sit there and talk. I'll go door to door. I will just DM people personally. Like, I'll do whatever it takes, in that legwork. And luckily, we didn't have to do that, And there are levers and there's smart ways to do it. But people like to skip that first part. And it's like, no, if you put the hours in, nobody's trying their best. No one goes to bed and be like, I gave it my all. So many few people are like, I gave it my all every day. You're always just giving what you think is good enough. And it depends on how big your goal is and that self-talk and how much you like believe in yourself in order to actually get that work done. And if you go and you write a goal tonight, such a big goal that you can't fuck up, your work you'll magically move mountains to get it done. If you truly believe that you can accomplish it and you truly want to, you'll get it done. You know what I mean? And that's the other thing. That's why I don't like mediocre goals. Like, okay, let's be realistic with our goals. Like, you go have a realistic life. Like, I'm trying to be remembered or like build a legacy, so.
Do you believe in God?
Fucking. It's been a rough 6 months for me, Case. Like, rough 6 months. And my relationship with God or source or universe right now was the same way I kind of decided that I don't want to say like spirituality because we get like that whole food spirituality vibe on it. It's kind of like fucking, I don't like that too much, but like my first time I believed that there was more magic to this world happened before my face got shattered and like after. And it just was so much proof and overwhelming evidence in front of my face that like logically I couldn't just doubt it anymore. And the past 6 months, the same thing's kind of happened. And it's been more of like a God and like almost in a biblical sense has been like, I mean, just so many signs, like just crazy shit happening where I'm like, if I told you stories, like, it's like, okay, like you'd kind of be like, all right, maybe he's not dumb. Like I'd have to be illogical to deny it at this point, So it's like, I'm just logical. And like, when this shit happens to me and it just touches my core and my soul. And like, I know it's like, I can't refuse to listen to it. So I'm still learning. I'm still like trying to like get through the journey and figure everything out. I don't know. Like not like gonna start like Bible thumping, like, yeah, I'm Christian now and everything. But no, I had some crazy experiences with what I think is God. Like, truthfully. And I wholeheartedly put a gun in my head, no, there's something after this. I know there's some creator and its source, and I don't know if we're all connected to the same source. I don't know if it's biblical. I don't know yet, and I'm on a lifelong mission to figure it out, I'm
not sure if anybody really knows some of these, it's like a beautiful mystery. Ultimately, what were some experiences that you had, or one experience that you had?
So I'll just give you like the full rundown real quick. Crazy dreams. There's other stuff too, but a couple months after my grandma died, I had a dream and got washed up on the beach, and like the sky was just this amber color, but it was weird. It was like where I looked was amber, but around it was black. So I'd look over here and the sky would become amber over here, but it was kind of black in my peripheral. It was weird. And this wave came and grabbed me and washed me up on shore, like down the beach. And there's like these gates there and like these tables set for ceremony. And all these old people were there dressed nice with gold lips. And I was like, what the hell is going on? So I walked through and bumped into these people, and my fucking grandma's there. I'm like, holy shit. I was like, Grandma. Like, oh my gosh, I love you. I miss you so much. Like, and she did this thing where she always does, like, when I see her in a party or anything when she was older, and she'd be like, hi, babe, like, kind of exhausted. And I was like, I miss you. I love you. She's like, I love you too. And we're just kind of talking a little bit. And I was like, hey, and I can tell you're exhausted. Like, go back to your party. And she was like, thanks, babe. And she, like, went back to her party, and I left. And I woke up a little bit after the dream, and I just was like, I think I just saw my grandma in heaven. And I think she was meeting all the people who were up there waiting for her. They're all older people. And she looked a little bit different. Like, she looked skinnier, but she looked, like, younger, but still old, but, like, vibrant. Never had gold lips. And it was the weirdest dream of my life. Like, it wasn't like any other dream. I've had weird dreams where, like, they're bad dreams. And, like, I woke up screwed. And I was like, oh, okay. But, like, knew it was a dream. Like, this one just felt so weird. So, sister died in a bad circumstance. Fentanyl. and had a dream a few months after, and she was in this like tore down brick building wandering. I was like, Ashley. I was like, what's going on? And she's like wandering around, and she's like, I need help. And I'm like trying to talk to her, but she won't address me, but she's like asking for help and like lost. And I fucking woke up. I was like, my sister's lost. Like, holy shit, it's a lost soul. So I had another dream just recently. It was, I didn't know this. One of my buddies, Pat, is like super esoteric, called me, which is funny because I was like, I need to call Pat and ask him about this dream. But it was the day of the eclipse and the full moon. And so it was like the end of a 15-year cycle or something. I had no idea. And so I woke up from this dream. I was like literally panicking after the dream because it was so crazy. But in the house I grew up in, amber sky, my sister Ashley's out front getting into an SUV that she owns. And she's like, makeup done. She's got this tired fucking face. And she's like finished her makeup. She shuts the windshield thing and she drives off. And I didn't know what to make of it. But like, I feel like the cycle ended and she started her journey to like someone who's fucked up their whole life, but like was gonna make it better. And she was like fucking knew she was in a hole, but she was taking steps. And like it just like fucking gut punched me. It was crazy. And then I had one last dream, and it was just like in the dream there's a demon, amber sky, and I was going through hellish shit at the time. And I remember I woke up from this dream, and because this guy was telling me, oh, that guy's a demon. He's the demon of Northwind. And so I wake up from this dream, and I'm like panicking in my house. I was like, go back to bed. Like, go back into this dream. I need to. So I go back in the dream, right back in the dream right when I fall asleep. And I see him. I was like, that's not the demon. I was like, show me the demon. And like, I'm in this black room all of a sudden with this girl who looks like Sally. And like, I looked at her. I was like, you don't have fucking power here. Stop. And like, kind of dream fizzled. And I woke up later. So I talked to my buddy Pat. I'm like, what the hell does this mean? And like, I tell him, I was like, and then the guy called him the demon of Northwind. He was like, Northwind? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh. I was like, what does that mean, you know? What do you mean, oh? And I was like, am I fucking possessed? Like, I'm going through hard shit. Is this a demon? He was like, no, you're good. But, like, there's demons in your life. Like, or, like, someone around you could be going through it or something, but, like, you're good. So I was like, what the hell? So I started looking up Northwind in the Bible, and it's like, I'm going through this huge fucking change right now in my life. And, like, it was, like, the wind of change. And, like, Ezekiel, I think 1:4, it talks about God like showing his presence in the wind of change, and when the north wind blows, and like God will show you his righteousness in this bright amber sky. And I'm misquoting it, but like I read it and it was like amber sky, and every other dream that was an amber sky popped up in my head, and I was like, what the fuck? And this is like 1/10 of the shit that's been happening with me, where I'm like getting hit in the face with so much evidence and proof that like I don't know if like there is a God and he's like, this motherfucker's too logical, we got to smack him in the face with the Bible real quick to like get him to read it. But like it fucking made me go, okay, I need to address this and I need to start like looking into this more. So yeah, it was crazy, man. It's been weird, and I don't know how I feel about it. I fucking actually don't like it. It stresses me out, to be honest. Like it does. I don't like it. I'm like, why the fuck do I have to go through this? Like life was grand 6 months ago. What the fuck? And here we are. So
that'd be stressing me out too if I was experiencing that.
It's just weird, dude. And like, it's almost like I feel like a responsibility now. Like before I was just living life, having fun, I was on this high. Life smacked me in the face, got humbled beautifully, love it. And then now I'm like in the trenches, but like, it's like I'm almost being shown a way out, I feel like. And it's like, fuck, like we got some work to do now, you know? So it's not my choice, but I guess like from every other Christian I hear any story like that, it's never your choice. So I don't know. And like I said, I don't know. I can't say anything, but I do know there is a source. There is a God. There is an afterlife. I just don't know how my relationship with him is panning out and what like it's going to turn into, you know?
Yeah.
But it's definitely personalized to me. I don't like preaching it too much, and I never will. But like, yeah, I definitely have a relationship with him, and I'm just going to see what I need to do, you know, to advance it and
cool.
Figure it out. Because I want to chill with my grandma when this is all done. She was happy. So.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, man, of course, of course.
Do you think you'll fight again?
Yeah. I do. I'm always like, fuck this, I'm not doing it, but like, man, we're on the beach today grappling and like sparring, and I can't not. And like, you also like, I need to address it now, and like, luckily the business is great because I found other things to take my dopamine, but like, there's no feeling like it. I need that 4-month buildup of sacrifice, you know, and diet and suffering, and then the moment of truth and the risk and everything, and then go out and win, get your hand raised. And like, I mean, it's a dumb example, but in Avengers, when Thanos snaps his finger and they find him in the garden and he's just at peace, that was like my first title fight because it was so hard. It was like the camp was so long. The fight got pushed back. I dieted like 37 pounds. It was just so hard. And the next morning I woke up before everyone because I had like family and people in to watch me fight. I went to my shitty backyard at the time and just sat there, and like the sun was coming. I was just at peace. Like I don't have to worry about dieting. I don't have to worry about VO2 max workout. I don't have to worry about, you know, like the guy I'm gonna fight, selling tickets, showing. Like I just got that moment. So there's like, you don't get to have those moments all the time in life. You know, you got to work for them. And I like can find other things to hit the same fulfillment, but yeah, I still need to fight more. I want to fight in Japan. I do. So we're going to figure it out. We're going to take it slow. We're going to do it on my terms. I'm not going to prize fight and like give money to the big guys in suits, like, but I'm going to do it how I want to do it and be a part of it and fight. And then as soon as I feel like it's too much on the body and my brain, then I'll stop and just grapple and combat and teach and do everything like that. But yeah, we need to do that 100%.
Have you ever gotten in a fight in a self-defense situation outside of a competition?
Yeah, a lot. And I've started a lot of them. So we were telling stories at Air One. They just all heard the funny ones. But I used to be a lot skinnier and not look, my brow bones weren't all fucked up from shots. I had like fat baby face and I couldn't grow a beard that good. And I buttoned every button. I look like I had a fucking trust fund properly. And I would go out and there'd be some thug dude and I kind of see he didn't like me because I was having fun, dancing, being loud. And I was like, all right, I want to start some shit. So start some shit with them. And that first slide you hit them with, you know, like, you know, they're hitting you with the like intimidation, the thug talk. I'm a gangster. I pull my shorts up. What's up, Dan? What's up, Dan? And they're like, oh, okay. I got you. I'm gonna whoop your ass. And they're like, oh, yeah. Whoom. And you slide them. And you step back and you see the look on their face change to panic. And you're like, yeah, bitch. And then you start whooping their ass. You're like, yeah, I didn't play thug to intimidate. I spent fucking 8 years with Hawaiians. I lived with them who beat the shit out of me day in, day out. Like, I'm gonna hurt you for this. So I wouldn't say self-defense. I've never been put in like I'm in there. The closest one ever was when a guy followed me into an elevator and tried fighting me, and I whooped him in an elevator, and then he was so cool after, and it wasn't like life or death. And yeah.
He just wanted to fight you for fun in that elevator?
No, he was like, we were at a wedding. We were at a 6-figure wedding. Okay. And I just told the boys the story, so they're fucking, yeah. But we're at a 6-figure wedding, and beautiful wedding. And he's walking around at like 1 a.m. with boppers hitting girls in the ass. He went up to my girlfriend and to go hit her in the ass. I was like, no. I was like, hey. Like, you know, just being like, don't hit my girlfriend in the ass with a bopper. I'm going to hit you. So he came up and like being all drunk. And I saw him staring at me earlier while I was dancing. Like, I dance like pretty well. And like, guys don't like it when you're having more fun than them. Like, they get insecure. So he came up to fucking hit me with the bopper in the dick. And I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. And the second that bopper hit my dick real light, I fucking smacked him. Wham! So smacking me back, so I'm like, motherfucker, I get all mad now, beat your ass. And the dad who paid for the wedding walks up to me. I'm like, holy shit, dude, like, this is gonna be terrible. And like, I'm like just meeting my girlfriend's friends for the first time, and I'm like starting shit. I'm a fighter. And like everyone told my girlfriend when she met me, like, Vance likes to fight, because I was getting in scuffles, and I was like, fuck. I told her I don't like fighting anymore, and like, here I am. So the dad comes up to me, he's like, hey, I've been watching him all night. I'm so sorry. I'll keep him away from you. And I was like, oh shit, thank the Lord. So I'm on with P's and Q's now. Wedding ends at like 2:30. I'm hammered. Get in the hallway. I hear someone screaming. I look back. He's getting held back by 2 friends. He's like, I whoop MMA fighters all the time. It's like, fucking, here we go. So I'm with my girlfriend's best friend's fiance at the time. And I was like, Dev, and he was in the military, he's a bigger kid. I was like, let's hit another elevator. Let's take the long one. So we go to a far elevator with the girls. Wait for the elevator to come down. We get in, hit the button. Boom, he's at the fucking door. So Dev's holding him back now. And I was just like, okay, like, if you step in this elevator, I'm going to fucking clean you now. Do not step in the elevator. Dev's holding back. Guy's yelling. He's not getting out the door. I was like, Dev, move. Like, Dev, fucking move. Guy move. Dev moves. Guy comes in. Crack. Whoom. I hit him, like, perfectly across the bridge of the nose. So I smash his nose, and, like, we fall. I reach on it, so, like, we fall into the elevator wall, so I over-under him. So now I got overhook, underhook, ear to ear, so he can't hit me, like, maybe hit in the back of the head. And I was just like, are you done? He's dripping blood down my suit now. And he goes, that's all you got. And I was like, are you done? And he goes, that's all you got. Now I'm like, okay. So I chuck him with the shoulder, and I hit the 252. Just left hand, uppercut, left hand. I missed the last uppercut, but the first 3 are fucking bullseyes. Chin, chin, chin. Boom, boom, boom. Just rapid fire. He falls out of the elevator. Dev hops in. I hit the button. I'm like, motherfucker. Chaos is breaking out now. The guy's friends are all there. His girlfriend's there. oh shit. So we get in the elevator, we go up a floor, I'm hammered. I'm like, the girls are down there. I'm like, they're beating them up because I'm hammered now. So we're hitting the button. Elevator doors open. I come out of the elevator. I'm like, everyone get the back the fuck up. I'm freaking out. People are screaming. They're coming up to me trying to ask me what's going on. I'm like, back the fuck up. My girlfriend's in the corner holding 2 plants, rolling her eyes. Like, I'm over in Rambo mode. And I see a hand through the crowd like this. And I look, and it's the guy, and he's holding his nose. He's walking towards me. I was like, we good? He's like, you got me. I was like, are we good? He's like, you got me. So he walks up. I was like, we're good? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right, bud. I was like, I know you're mad, but I didn't want to do this, you know? And he was like, yeah, I thought I had you, dude. And he was like, you're small. And like, we were just started shooting the shit. And his girlfriend's come up screaming at us. She's just so flustered. And he's like, shut up. I was like, let's go get a drink. And like, it's just a grand time. But to backtrack, I've had a fuck ton of scuffles. God bless. I've never got my ass whooped in the streets. I should have a few times. Bad situations. I never got shot, never got stabbed, I never went to jail. And when you button every button and you look skinny and you got a thin neck and you see officers and you just, officer, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. They usually let you go. So yeah, I'm undefeated on Fremont. I also am banned. Fremont's the old Vegas bar, just like scene. I have a 10-year ban there. And so for fighting, that was the last one I did. And then my buddy was like, if you email them, they'll take away your ban. So you just email them. It's like a formal written warning. They'll give you a 6-month ban. You can go back. And I was like, first off, I don't want to go to Fremont again. Second off, fuck that. In 10 years, we're going back and we're fucking doing it again. And every 10 years until I'm fucking dead, we're going to Fremont, wheelchair and all. And I'm fucking someone up, dude. Like, we are picking a fucking fight. So I think I got like 5 years left on the ban. So that's how long it's been since I got in like a little altercation. And yeah, we're sending it. We're going. But yeah, I've gotten older. I shoot a lot of guns now, and so in my mind, I'm constantly thinking everyone's carrying. And also, just like, you become so competent, you do it long enough, and like, I just try to calm people down. But yeah, there's been a few times, like, you know, I've almost shook someone or like had to, and so it is what it is. But yeah, I don't like fighting. You get to a point where it's like, all right, you know, I'm older now. Don't want to break a hand. Don't want to get shot. Don't want to fucking shoot someone I carry to, you know, it's like, if like we escalate it to that point, it's like I'm just gonna try to defend myself or like always get away. If you chase and like I know you're not armed and like in a perfect world, then fuck yeah, I'm a Jackie Chan your ass. Like we're gonna do it. And like, you know, I got followed the other day actually, so that's why it was like kind of fresh too. And I was like shit, and I wasn't carrying, and I was just like, all right, like this big Escalade's following me because they ran a yield, and just like, dude, if they have a gun, I'm fucked. Like that's all I think about now. It's like life or death. But if they want to get out and smash face and like they can whoop my ass or not, but like earn my respect and like me earn theirs, like we could do that too. I love a scuffle, so I'm down for a knock always still. But it's just me getting to that point is a lot harder to get to now.
It's probably a sign of maturity.
Yeah, a little bit. You grow up, you know, and everyone told me, like, you'll grow up one day, and I'm just like, fuck. But I've also seen, like, 40-year-olds that still try to... My dad is fucking trying to fight everyone at all times still. I'm like, dude, you're 60-something. Like, you have fucking a full head of white hair. Stop. And he's like, no, I'll put that motherfucker in the dirt, dude. I'm like... So I don't know. Maybe he'll come back with old age, hopefully, with a vengeance. But, yeah, right now, I'm pretty calm. Pretty chill. Knock on wood, because... Knowing that, me saying that, we're going to get a scuffle tonight somehow, so I don't want to do that.
I think it goes full circle a little bit to what we talk about at the beginning, where if you're expressing that violence, it's less likely to manifest as self-destruction or trying to bop people in the penis with a bopper, you know.
Yeah.
That guy probably wasn't training at all. He's just had a lot of chaos inside that was just like coming out when he's drunk.
Exactly. That was a man trying to prove himself. If I could beat up the MMA fighter, the guy had more fun than me because he felt insecure, he felt less than. And what's the ultimate equalizer? Beat your ass, you know? Because, yeah, it's like, if someone's got everything else that you don't have, but you beat their ass, you're better than them, you know? It's like, I don't make the rules here either. Don't fucking shoot me. But if a guy with more money and, like, better lifestyle and nicer car and, like, better business me comes up, I chin him. Like, who's the real man here? But, no, not really. But, like, that's how guys think. It's just...
That's our primal nature coming out.
I'll be honest, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, yeah, I like doing that shit. You know, it's not right. It's a little evil, almost like me chinning wannabe thugs in the club or just trying to have fun. But I did it, and I don't do it as much anymore. You know.
What's one more street fight story?
Fuck, dude, what? My favorite one, dude. My favorite one is we're at McFadden's. The guys just all heard this story. We just had like a whole street fight story, so I fucking feel bad repeating. But so this is how I know God's real. It's the start of the story. I go to McFadden's. I'm hammered. I bump into my Hawaiian friends who are all bigger than me and all fight. And they're like, as I see them, I'm like, "What's up, dude? What's up, Bryce?" And he's like, "Yo, what's up?" But like looking this way at someone. I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Is there problems?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I got this." So I walk up, I'm like, shove the guy. "What the fuck's your problem?" You know? So I get into it with him, and it is what it is. We end up walking away, and I'm drunk, and I'm just like walking by the people that I just started shit with, no problem. So lights turn on, time to leave. Packed shoulder to shoulder in this bar, and we're trying to get off the dance floor, and I see them run at my buddy Dion in front of me, and they clock him. So the second he gets hit, I run up, I clock a guy. Second I clock him, I get hit, and now I'm on all fours, and it's like shoulder to shoulder, so I'm in between legs. So I was like, oh damn, like fucking he got me. So I'm on all fours, and I see the guy I hit, and we were drilling guillotines that week in class. So I was like, I'm gonna go guillotine this motherfucker. So I like crawl on top of him, I'm like trying to choke him, and he's like all dazed, and I'm like trying to like get a choke in. And his fucking friend comes from the side and punts me in the face. Boom! Inside my cheek was black for like a month straight after. Rocked the shit out of me. I don't know how my teeth didn't come out. Just immediately blood was coming out of my mouth. I was like, holy shit, dude. Like every lace hit every part of my face. And so security grabs me right after, and they pull me up, and I'm like, ah, like yelling, you know, and like being a fool, and like they're walking me over. I'm like, fuck that motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. And they turn the corner, and there's two officers right there. I was like, oh shit. They're like, he was like, this guy's fighting. They're like, we got it. They're like, what happened? I was like, officer, I don't know. We were leaving. I got hit. I think I hit someone. Like full, like, I'm innocent, man. They're like not buying it. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I've had a lot to drink, just so you know. They're like, sit down, like, shut up. I'm like, all right. So I'm standing there, and they're like getting ready, like almost put me in handcuffs. And the dude who kicked me ran at me in front of the cops, and I just stayed chill. And he's like, fuck that motherfucker. And he's like trying to get me and everything. And they were like, I was like, I think that's the guy who hit me, officer. They're like, all right, we're gonna walk you to your car. So I walk my drunk ass to my car, and I'm like just like 22 years old. Like, what the hell are you doing? So they walked me to the car. I think it was 21. They're like, hey, get in the car, go home. I was like, thank you, officer, will do. So they run, they hear commotion, they run off. I'm with my buddy Dion. So we like open the door, look around, we're like, you wanna go whoop him? And Dion's like, yeah. I'm like, let's go whoop him. So we start running. We're two kids, so we just run opposite directions. I think Dion's behind me, Dion thinks I'm behind him. I go like 2 car lanes over in the parking lot, I see the group. I'm like, fuck yeah, motherfuckers. I'm like yelling and shit. And I look over, and they turn around, and I look behind, I'm by myself. I was like, oh, fuck. It was like, bad move. Okay, like, we did not coordinate this. So I remember, like, Connor had a good bounce. He learned from Gunnar Nelson. So it's like the karate bounce. And you can get people to, like, bite on it. So I started bouncing hella fast, like, moving. And I wanted them to, like not know where I was going. Like, almost like a cobra, like, just moving in and out. And the fucking guy who kicked me in the face took the bait, swung at me. And he fucking misses and falls on all fours in front of me. I didn't have time, but I should have like kissed, thank God, put my hand up like a field goal, but I fucking punted him right back in the face. And just like a sack of potatoes, he just went limp. Dion just started coming over to help me out, sees the whole thing. The second I kick the guy, all I hear behind me is, eep. And I'm like, oh fuck, they hit me with the brights. I was like, I'm going to jail. They just saw me punt this guy. And they get on the fucking speaker, and he goes, get in your car and go home. And I was like so tense. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay. And I just ran from my car and drove my drunk ass home. And Dion and me laughed the whole fucking night. And I was like, Dion, that's the guy who kicked me in the face and showed him. He's like, holy shit, like you kicked him back. I was like, I kicked him back, dude. Like I got him back. So that was like the fun one. That was like the greatest fight story I have. Like I don't know what other karmic retribution I had going there, but it paid off massively.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you're wild, man. It's been a great getting to know you today. Great having this conversation. I feel like we go for another 3 hours. We barely even touched on your business. But if you want to take some time to tell everyone listening what it is that you do,
Yeah.
I think everyone would appreciate that.
I just fucking chew bubblegum and whoop ass, dude. No, we got fucking 6 guys around the fire right now. Like, we're just gonna tell fight stories the way it goes. But no, I got my face shattered, used methylene blue to heal my brain. And I want to start a business because we just talked about how bad prize fighting is. There's no prize in fighting. and I wanted to get into it with supplements, and like it was gonna be an all natural supplement company, which is funny. And then I ended up selling methylene blue, the most synthetic compound there is, but I use it to heal my brain. I deep dove the research, saw the anecdotal reviews of people using it to heal theirs, fight early onset symptoms, beat Lyme's disease. I can't say that they didn't beat Lyme's disease, but you know what I mean?
I can edit that out.
No, you work fine. Like, I've said so much bad shit that I should not be saying, but the bottom line is I believe in it and it works. And when I was starting this business, I had that moment where I didn't want to sell methylene blue in the beginning because of all the regulations and everything. And I was like, seeing people say it changed their lives for the better. I can't say saved, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, do we want profits or do we want to make impact? You know? I was like, I want to make impact on this world, so fuck it. Like, let's sell it. So we started selling it, and then now, you know, boom, took off, and like the anecdotal reviews are there. We sourced high quality, did everything right from the beginning, and now I own Meraki Medicinal, and it's like we have 3 SKUs and we're killing it, and it's just amazing. 4 SKUs now, and having a blast doing it. Met great people like you guys from everything, and literally been able to donate more money than I used to make in a year to like cancer funds, and like give out free methylene blue to people in need, and like do something bigger than myself. And that's what the name Meraki means. It means like leaving part of yourself or your soul into your craft and doing something bigger than yourself. So it just all fit. But yeah, that's what I do. And I tweet like very terrible shit on Twitter, like half funny jokes and some science. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know you've got the methylene blue, the tallow balm with methylene blue infused in it, the Meraki Moo.
Yeah.
And then there's black seed oil, and then a new repair balm.
Yeah.
At this moment, those are the four
I
products
got
they have.
one in the chamber. We were trying to launch before Black Friday, but it's gonna be good. Yeah, it's something that's not done before, and it's just so efficacious that it just makes so much sense, and I'm excited to launch that one.
What makes the repair balm special?
So Moo is more for SPF, and the biggest complaints we got with Moo is there was coconut oil in. People don't want to put it on their face, even though like I'm not just talking shit. It's my company. For some reason, people will clog up with coconut oil, but when they use tallow with the coconut oil and the methylene blue, they don't. And like, could be the methylene blue, could be because there's not that much coconut oil, but you get a little more SPF with that. And so we made a balm more for like an overnight balm for wrinkles, for dry spots, eczema, psoriasis, dark spots, skin pigmentation issues, and then we hit it with every heavy hitter known to man. So I was just doing research on like Eric's, you know, he sells pine pollen, and I love it. And we all know it works anecdotally, but I couldn't find research on it. The only research I could find on was topical applications. And I was like, I should put this in there, you know? So I put pine pollen, niacinamide, black seed oil, C60. I couldn't put more methylene blue because Moo has like, we just put as much as we could before it stains your skin. So it has the same amount as Moo, unfortunately. And then we threw in there was one other, and taurine, you know, for the skin. So we just threw heavy hitters in there that work for the skin. So Moo's more of a daytime, you're out in the sun, you can use it as a full body moisturizer. It's a bigger jar. It's 4 ounces. We say 3 online so you can fly with it because, you know, we got your back, and, you know, TSA can suck it because you're not going to blow up a plane with, I need to stop talking. You got to tell me when to stop ruining my fucking business, dude. This podcast alone, when I'm in court, I'm be like, yeah, judge, I should have shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I just love my shit. But yeah, so the Moo is 4 ounces. Fuck. And 3 ounces. It's 3 ounces, I mean. Sorry. I just can't count. Been having some issues with methylation lately. We'll just get into that later. But yeah, dude. So it's more SPF, full body moisturizer. Repairs better for skin insults, blemishes, or just more of the face and less of the body. But you can use it full body too if you want.
Well, skincare is toxic. All the stuff you get at CVS, that's going to make the problem worse than it is going to make it better. So it's great that you're creating something that is going to be nourishing the body and healing at a deeper level as opposed to the crap that you'd get at CVS or whatever.
Yeah. And the biggest thing I do is, like, I love natural so much. Raw milk, like being out in the sun, grounding. Biohacking is usually just trying to replicate what nature has for you. What is a red light panel and blue light blockers, you know? It's so you can take the toxic effects of the benefits that we have as society that make life easier or whatever. We're like using tools, but they come at a price, and you can mitigate it, right? And so my goal with it was like, okay, maybe we could go all natural, but there are heavy hitters that are chemicals out there, like C60, like methylene blue. You're not finding those in nature. C60 is in outer space, but like you're not gonna find it. And so even though they're synthetic compounds, they're not toxic. And like you're fighting fire with fire a little bit, but it's like man-made problems, man-made solutions. And that's like, some people grab me like, it's not natural. I'm like, you're on a blue lit phone right now on Twitter. Like, no, this isn't natural, dude. Like, I send you a 4K video in a second. Like, we get it, but there's some things that aren't good for your health, like EMF, you know, and like everything else going on around us right now, between Wi-Fi, between toxic pollutants, between the food being bad, us not getting minerals. Like, we don't live a natural life. So it's like, I try to marry products that are, they're synthetic, but they're going to age you massively in living in a man-made life that comes with no benefits. I mean, but if you can go hike it to the hills and go bushcraft and live off that, like, dude, I love it. More power to you. So
Tremendous. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation, from using positive affirmations to win that inner battle, to win that inner fight, to the street fights that you got into, the story of your professional fighting career so far in the cage, and everything else that we spoke about. Really appreciate you taking the time to connect with me. Had a great time today, and really enjoyed it.
You were my ass today, dude. I loved it. So appreciate you, brother.
Vance Elrod, thank you.
Thank you, Case.